You guys are awesome. Thank you. And for this big occasion, we gotta do something big. Godzilla! Gojira, not the first giant monster movie made in Japan, but that's a story for another time. But definitely Gojira is the thing that made it super popular. Gojira is a combination of gorilla and whale, and it was a nickname of a guy the director knew, so they named the monster after him. And yes, it has been anglicized into Godzilla, so I don't have to keep messing up Japanese. We open on a bunch of stomping, and then what becomes the iconic Godzilla roar, leading us into the opening credits to what will become the iconic Godzilla theme song. Both were composed by Akira. Did you know that the roar is actually a leather glove going down a string instrument? Then we see something mysterious attack a fishing boat. And then we get the American title, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Not to be confused with the 2019 film. And this opening also is something based on reality. The Lucky Dragon 5 was a fishing boat that was sailing clear of nuclear testing, and it wasn't. So anyways, people are radioactive and there aren't that many fish. People are blaming it on an ancient dinosaur thing. So the government sends some guys to go investigate, and they find trilobites? Weird. Then we finally see Godzilla himself. Ah yeah, what an icon. Also originally he was supposed to have a cow in his mouth during this scene, but except for a couple photos, this is lost media. And of course Godzilla is famously a guy in a rubber suit. Originally meant to be stop motion, but no one had that time or money, so they went with the suit, which weighed 198 pounds. And it got so hot in the suit, it got to 140 Fahrenheit. And the suit actor passed out several times. And throwing some other numbers at you, Godzilla in the film is meant to be 164 feet, and then in the American dub, they made him 400 feet. Anyways, the doctor guy gives a presentation talking about Godzilla, saying he's some weird dinosaur thing disturbed by the hydrogen bomb. Everyone wants to kill it, but he wants to study it. Meanwhile, Dr. Eye Patch accidentally creates a oxygen destroyer, which dissolves everything nearby. But he doesn't want to use the oxygen destroyer on Godzilla because he's scared that it might be used for worse things in the future. Meanwhile, Godzilla is stomping around Tokyo, knocking over power lines. Usually in Godzilla films, the big draw of it is seeing Godzilla stomp around and destroy toys, and the real spectacle of it. But here, it's taken very seriously. We see a lot of hospital shots of people injured, radioactive, and children crying. It's less about looking at Godzilla and thinking he's cool, and looking at Godzilla and being scared. He's a force of nature. If Godzilla had been a dinosaur or some other animal, he would have been killed with just a cannonball. But if he were equivalent to an atomic bomb, we wouldn't know what to do. So I took the characteristics of an atomic bomb and applied them to Godzilla, said director Ishiro Honda. And, well, the Japanese would know all about this because, you know. Hey, look, Godzilla looks really silly looking forward. It's kind of like that one bird meme, front view, side view. Back to the movie, Dr. Surasawa decides that he's gonna finally reluctantly use the oxygen destroyer, and he burns his notes on it so no one else can make one. They find Godzilla sleeping in the ocean, and they send Surasawa with the oxygen destroyer to take him out. He decides to stay down there, and decides to die with Godzilla as they both get dissolved. The film ends on a bleak note, saying that this might happen again if they're not careful. Which it does, because we wouldn't have a franchise otherwise. And that was the original Godzilla. And as for the American dub, they edited out most of the devastation taken away from the themes of the movie. Especially the themes of anti-nuclear weaponry were edited out. And they put in a bunch of music, which sometimes fits, sometimes would have been better without it. And they added in the character of Steve Martin. No, not that Steve Martin. He would have been 11 at the time. This Steve Martin, played by Raymond Burr, he's a good actor and his scenes are edited in really well, especially for the time. But his character is very pointless because he just narrates over the film, explaining the bleeding obvious to everyone. Because we're too stupid to understand what's going on with just the visuals alone. I don't want to be that guy because the American version's still a good film, but yeah, the Japanese is better. Because it keeps in all the themes and emotion of the story without having to dumb it down for American audiences. This isn't your typical giant monster film. It isn't even your typical Godzilla film. It has emotion. It's dark. It's serious. It's beautiful. Now, like every movie, this isn't perfect. The suit's kind of derpy, and the editing's questionable. But overall, it's a masterpiece. Godzilla is scary in this movie, like he should be. The themes and emotion of this movie are fantastic, and I highly recommend it.